Would you say would be the other two to complete the top three, like behind you?
Number one heavyweight.
I mean,
I'll take a heavyweight paycheck, but I don't.
my bad. You said you're number one.
Then I will be run time. Boy, I will run. It will be sprint time. Okay?
Who's your top three behind you at welterweight? My bad.
I mean, Errol Spence and everything else. Keith Thurman number one, Errol Spence number two, and everything else is debate. I've said it many times. I don't give Crawford any credit at 147 yet. He hasn't gotten any credentials off of me. I made the statement that the boy hasn't even fought an Amir Khan, and all of a sudden they're acting like they want to fight Amir Khan. I mean, that's a fight years ago on Amir's side, he was a 140 pounder. So at the end of the day, but I still like that fight for Crawford. When it comes to competing in the welterweight division, he's done nothing. I mean, there's, because I was saying, what's the Horn? I was saying that I think Amir Khan would beat Jeff Horn. So at the end of the day, I just let him beat Amir Khan. Let him beat somebody else. I don't know. I just don't believe in the three. So because a lot of people don't want to put Bud there, but then my thing is, it ain't like he beat Sean Porter. Sean Porter actually might be number three. I always said Sean Porter is ultimately like top five. He's never. I don't think he's going to leave the top five. It's going to be really hard unless if we get proven wrong with Ugas. Ugas can slide in. You know what I'm saying, with a victory over Sean. So that's why I don't really care, man. And I really don't care if you consider me number 1, 2, 3, or anything, man. At the end of the day, you can't put me lower than 3. What are you gonna do? Put 2 names above me, and you're gonna have some of your peers looking at you sideways anyways? Like, I don't care, man. All that I care about is training, staying healthy, getting back in the ring, getting back on TV. Fox, this thing with Fox is a big thing. We're gonna have a lot of eyes, a lot of viewers, and just being the undefeated champion of the world, man. And just providing exciting fights for the sport of boxing. Not only am I good at my job, but I think I'm one of the best and most entertaining fighters in the sport of boxing today. You got 12 different weight classes.
Has a left hook, but this is the first fight where I've seen that in promotion you haven't really come off as confident. It's almost like you look at it as it's really a 50-50 fight. How do you view that?
I'm about to knock him out, man. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
So you're going for the knockout?
Are you going to go for the knockout? That's what y'all understand. First off, it's one time, all the time, KOs for life. All right? The model doesn't change. The philosophy doesn't change. The only thing is when a fighter starts showing me that it's not easy to get what I want, then I'm going to get the other portion of what I want, which is overall victory of the night. Okay? Did we not buckle Sean Porter? Was he not hurt several times in the fight? Okay? But for some reason, I don't know if it had to do with the car accident, the layoff, yada, yada, yada. When we connected with the one, we couldn't follow up. We did not shut him down. We did not put him out. Okay? I promised myself if Garcia buckles the way that Porter buckled, we have to close it out, But I mean, I'm just tired of the fucking shit talk, man. Fuck y'all. What do y'all want me to talk about? Don't y'all want to see the fight? You know what I'm saying? I'm here to fight. Because nothing matters except for the fight. I mean, I can give you a prediction. The fight will end within 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? I can do whatever. But then if it doesn't happen, then what? Keith Thurman don't know what he's talking about. Then it was way more of a challenge than he's like. I'm tired of all y'all reporting and all this other stuff, man. I'm a world-class fighter. No matter what happens, win, lose, draw, Keith one-time Thurman's a world-class fighter. Every single time I step in the ring, I give you world-class fights. Okay? I'm gonna continue to do that to the day I retire. All right? But the thing is, I just have a new confidence, man. And some of y'all know, some of y'all don't. I talk about a little, I don't talk about a lot, but I'm spiritual, all right? And I've hit a certain place in my life now that I'm 28 years old. I've marinated in this world of boxing for a long time now, okay? And I'm marinated in the world, and I've grown as a man inside and outside of the ring, okay? I do this for me. I don't do this for you. I do it for me. You help me, because without you, there is no sport of boxing. It would just be reckless fighting. It would not be a career. I am grateful of the career that I have. I'm grateful of the career that I've developed for myself. I strive for greatness each and every single time that I step into the ring. I have a O. I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me. My mama used to beat me, and my daddy used to beat me. Can you beat me? That's what I want to know. That's why I signed these contracts. I love the sport of boxing. This is a sport. I look forward to each and every fight. And now I finally hit a point in my career where I'm getting the fights that I want. They talk about Danny Garcia has a tremendous resume. A lot of people fought certain people that I never fought. Guess what? Those fighters didn't want to fight me. Floyd Mayweather never wanted to fight me. Do y'all forget that when his daddy wants to talk about I was a made champion, I was the interim title holder for Mayweather? They elevated Mayweather to elevate me, to put him in position to where he never had to talk about me. He didn't have to take Keith Thurman as a mandated opponent. He got to do whatever he wanted to do. He got to wear what we call the political crown. I'm not mad at him, man. I'm not mad at that scenario. It was a little frustrating having to deal with it, but that's what happens in the sport of boxing from time to time. And Mayweather has dominated the industry since he stepped on the scene. He was an Olympian, yada, yada, yada. He fought for that political position. So it's not like it was undeserving, okay? It just was frustrating for one person, because Danny fought Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie Malignaggi never wanted to fight me. I wanted to fight him at one point. He got beat by AB. We never talked about it ever again. Why? Because I was interested in fighting champions. I've always been interested in fighting champions, okay? I mean, I wanted to fight Sean Porter when he held the IBF before he fought Kell Brook. Kenny Porter had an article statement saying, we don't need to fight Keith Thurman right now. We can fight him when he gets his world title, and then we can fight each other for a unification bout. He loses his title, I get my title, and then we fight for my title. Do I say he needs to go back and get a title? No, it's a fight that I always wanted. It was a fight that I was happy to make happen. Saturday night is the same scenario, happens to be in the same venue. So, I mean, like I said, man, I do this for me. I do it for the love of the sport. I do this because this is what I've always wanted to do as a child. I am successful. A loss does not take away my success. I am not fearful of losing. I'm not fearful of getting knocked out. I hold no fear. For Jesus said, fear no man that wants to harm your flesh. I am a warrior. I've always been a warrior, and I'm willing to die in that ring. I tell my family, if I was to die in that ring, don't you shed a tear. You understand? Y'all don't fully get who Keith Thurman is. I'm somebody who loves to fight. But outside of the fight, this is a sport called boxing. Boxing also is an art. I told a person a long time ago, if you watch Floyd Mayweather, it's like watching a ballerina.
I remember when this was the day before the weigh-in of when he fought Danny Garcia. He was all spitting on me and shit. He was like, if I was to die in that ring, don't you shed a tear. For Jesus said. He was hyped.
This is what I've always wanted to do as a child. I am successful. A loss does not take away my success. I am not fearful of losing. I'm not fearful of getting knocked out. I hold no fear. For Jesus said, fear no man that wants to harm your flesh. I am a warrior. I've always been a warrior, and I'm willing to die in that ring. I tell my family, if I was to die in that ring, don't you shed a tear. You understand?
You ain't see it? That spit had hit me. Y'all think I'm fucking bullshit. Watch this. Pay attention. We're going to slow it down. Before we get to business, we have a lot to talk about. I have to be right back. I'll be right back.
You look at it as it's really a 50-50 fight. How do you view that?
I'm about to knock him out, man. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
So you're going for the knockout? Are
Do
you
I
going to
not
knock
go
him?
for the knockout? That's
Man.
what y'all understand. First off, it's one time, all the time, KOs for life. All right? The model doesn't change. The philosophy doesn't change. The only thing is when a fighter starts showing me that it's not easy to get what I want, then I'm going to get the other portion of what I want, which is overall victory of the night. Okay? Did we not buckle Sean Porter? Was he not hurt several times in the fight? Okay, but for some reason, I don't know if it had to do with the car accident, the layoff, yada, yada, yada. When we connected with the one, we couldn't follow up. We did not shut him down. We did not put him out, okay? I promised myself if Garcia buckles the way that Porter buckled, we have to close it out, you know? But, I mean, I'm just tired of the fucking shit talk, man. Fuck y'all, what do y'all want me to talk about? Don't y'all want to see the fight? You know what I'm saying? I'm here to fight. Nothing matters except for the fight, you know? I mean, I can give you a prediction. The fight will end within 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? I can do whatever. But then if it doesn't happen, then what? You know, Keith Thurman don't know what he's talking about. Then it was way more of a challenge than he's like. Tired of all y'all reporting and all this other stuff, man. I'm a world-class fighter. No matter what happens, win, lose, draw, Keith one-time Thurman's a world-class fighter. Every single time I step in the ring, I give you world-class fights, okay? And I'm going to continue to do that to the day I retire, all right? But the thing is, I just have a new confidence, man, and some of y'all know, some of y'all don't. I talk about it a little, I don't talk about it a lot, but I'm spiritual, all right? And I've hit a certain place in my life now that I'm 28 years old. I've marinated in this world of boxing for a long time now. Okay, and I'm marinated in the world, and I'm grown as a man inside and outside of the ring. Okay, I do this for me. I don't do this for you. I do it for me. You help me because without you, there is no sport of boxing. It would just be reckless fighting. It would not be a career. I am grateful of the career that I have. I'm grateful of the career that I've developed for myself. I strive for greatness each and every single time that I step into the ring. I have an O. I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me. My mama used to beat me, and my daddy used to beat me. Can you beat me? That's what I want to know. That's why I signed these contracts. I love the sport of boxing. This is a sport. I look forward to each and every fight. And now I finally hit a point in my career where I'm getting the fights that I want. They talk about Danny Garcia has a tremendous resume. A lot of people fought certain people that I never fought. Guess what? Those fighters didn't want to fight me. Floyd Mayweather never wanted to fight me. Do y'all forget that when his daddy wants to talk about I was a made champion, I was the interim title holder for Mayweather? They elevated Mayweather to elevate me, to put him in position to where he never had to talk about me. He didn't have to take Keith Thurman as a mandated opponent. He got to do whatever he wanted to do. He got to wear what we call the political crown. I'm not mad at him, man. I'm not mad at that scenario. It was a little frustrating having to deal with it, but that's what happens in the sport of boxing from time to time. And Mayweather has dominated the industry since he stepped on the scene. He was an Olympian, yada, yada, yada. He fought for that political position. So it's not like it was undeserving, okay? It just was frustrating for one person because Danny fought Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie Malignaggi never wanted to fight me. I wanted to fight him at one point. He got beat by AB. We never talked about it ever again. Why? Because I was interested in fighting champions. I've always been interested in fighting champions, okay? I mean, I wanted to fight Sean Porter when he held the IBF before he fought Kell Brook. Kenny Porter had an article statement saying, we don't need to fight Keith Thurman right now. We can fight him when he gets his world title, and then we can fight each other for a unification bout. He loses his title, I get my title, and then we fight for my title. Do I say he needs to go back and get a title? No. It's a fight that I always wanted. It was a fight that I was happy to make happen. Saturday night is the same scenario. Happens to be in the same venue. So, I mean, like I said, man, I do this for me. I do it for the love of the sport. I do this because this is what I've always wanted to do as a child. I am successful. A loss does not take away my success. I am not fearful of losing. I'm not fearful of getting knocked out. I hold no fear. For Jesus said, fear no man that wants to harm your flesh. I am a warrior. I've always been a warrior, and I'm willing to die in that ring. I tell my family, if I was to die in that ring, don't you shed a tear. You understand? Y'all don't fully get who Keith Thurman is. I'm somebody who loves to fight. But outside of the fight, this is a sport called boxing. Boxing also is an art. I told a person a long time ago, if you watch Floyd Mayweather, it's like watching a ballerina. Finessing his way to victory each and every time. And everybody knows it's not easy to be a ballerina. Okay? It's not easy. So, you know, I mean, first off, a man has to wear little tights and stuff. That's a little demeaning, you know what I'm saying? Me. That's not everybody, and not everybody has in their pocket what I got in my pocket. So, you know, it's up for debate whether or not they want to do it. Go watch at a wing house. Go sit on a buddy's couch who can't help but not to buy it. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. That's why my philosophy in this sport and how I got to the top is just one step at a time. We keep moving forward. But whomever I fight, whenever I fight them, you know what I mean? I'm just going to be very methodical. I'm going to be stronger, faster, and smarter, baby.
You said you're the #1 heavyweight. Who would you say would be the other two to complete the top 3, like behind you?
#1 heavyweight, I hope.
I mean,
I'll take a heavyweight paycheck, but I
my bad. You said you're the #1
then I will
welterweight.
be run time, boy. I will run. It will be sprint time. Okay? Yes,
Who's
sir.
your top 3 behind you at welterweight? My bad.
I mean, Errol Spence and everything else. Keith Thurman #1, Errol Spence #2, and everything else is debatable. I've said it many times. I don't give Bud Crawford any credit at 147 yet. He hasn't gotten any credentials off of me. I made the statement that the boy hasn't even fought an Amir Khan, and all of a sudden they're acting like they want to fight Amir Khan. I mean, that's a fight years ago on Amir's side, he was a 140 pounder. So at the end of the day, but I still like that fight for Crawford. When it comes to competing in the welterweight division, he's done nothing. I mean, there's, because I was saying, what's the Horn? I was saying that I think Amir Khan would beat Jeff Horn. So at the end of the day, I just let him beat Amir Khan. Let him beat somebody else. I don't know. I just don't believe in the other 3. So because a lot of people don't want to put Bud there, but then my thing is, it ain't like he beat Sean Porter. Sean Porter actually might be #3. I always said Sean Porter is ultimately like top 5. He's never. I don't think he's going to leave the top 5. It's going to be really hard unless we get proven wrong with Ugas. Ugas can slide in. You know what I'm saying, with a victory over Sean. So that's why I don't really care, man. And I really don't care if you consider me #1, 2, 3, or anything, man. At the end of the day, you can't put me lower than 3. What are you gonna do? Put 2 names above me, and you're gonna have some of your peers looking at you sideways anyways? Like, I don't care, man. All that I care about is training, staying healthy, getting back in the ring, getting back on TV. Fox, this thing with Fox is a big thing. We're gonna have a lot of eyes, a lot of viewers, and just being the undefeated champion of the world, man. And just...
Oh, I'm back. Sorry about that. you know, I don't even know where to begin. I've had an interesting 2 months, to say the least. Like a very interesting 2 months. So what I've been doing over the last couple of days is really getting back into the swing with boxing. You know, like really just paying attention to what's been going on, and it's been a lot. From Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou, I guess we kind of seen that coming, right? Or at least I did. Joseph Parker versus CCP Zhang. Canelo, possible Crawford. Canelo versus Jermall Charlo, which I always thought was the plan in the first place. Keith Thurman seems to be getting cashed out against Tim Tszyu. I don't think his belly's going to hold up. You know, he's got that jelly belly. You punch him in the stomach, he's all over the place. Errol Spence may be retired. That's going to be crazy if Terrence Crawford retired him. That was an ass whooping of the century. Like, he beat his ass. Jamaine Charlo, turns out he didn't beat up a woman. He beat up someone who identifies as a woman, from what I'm getting from it. I'm not saying it's right. Deontay Wilder, he's got this new show. We're going to pull that up. We're going to watch some of the clips. He crying and shit. What else? Controversy. Michaela Mayer, Natasha Jonas. Michaela Mayer sitting on 2 high-profile rematches that she can have that can make a lot of money. The Baumgartner rematch, that's going to sell big time. The Jonas rematch going to sell big time. What else? Let me see. What else are we missing? In boxing news, there's been a lot going on. The PBC Amazon, my bad, my nose hairs are in an uproar. I kind of want to shave them. You ever get one of them nose hairs? That's how I know I'm getting old. One of the ones that like it grow out and then curl up and it's like tickling you on the top. That shit's trash. What else? Let's see what other topics we got going on here. You know, the Ryan Garcia situation. You know what I personally think about Ryan Garcia? I think that it's his manager, lawyer dude. From what I'm like, him and Al Heyman are kind of like close. And they're like trying to sabotage his Golden Boy deal. Golden Boy is looking like they want to match him tough. Because they're like, fuck it, you leaving anyway, so let's put you in big tough fights. But his manager like, nah. You know? The Devin Haney fight is the fight to make. By the way, Devin Haney, he makes a lot of money, but his numbers don't produce the money that he's making. But then again, I don't want to be counting people's pockets, but I just don't think the guy's a big Devin Haney fan, big supporter, you know, but we got to keep it real here. I never really looked at him as being like a superstar yet. Teofimo, he claims to know the business. He always posting about how he knows the business of the sport. And then he's out here asking for $10 million. Where's that money coming from, me? Where's it coming from? So boxing still kind of fucked up. Then you got the Saudis. You got the Saudis. My man Turkey Ali Sheikh shaking up the sport. $39.99 pay-per-views. We get a $39.99 pay-per-view with Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker, Felix Hergovitz, Frank Sanchez, Big Baby Miller, Daniel Dubois for $40. You can't go back to selling us $74.99 pay-per-views no more. You can't do it. Dev on his way. He not there yet. You see what I'm saying? He's building a hell of a resume. He's not there yet. You know, but he's on his way, but not there yet. I'm surprised at his performance against Lomachenko. Anytime Lomachenko was walking him down, you know, like I was surprised at the performance. Now, Lomachenko's always been good. He's always been good, but I didn't expect for him to be like the aggressor like that, especially being the smaller fighter. He didn't give a fuck about Devin Haney. But, you know, we can't go back to $74.99 pay-per-views, man. That shit's some bullshit. I want to show y'all my cable bill now. 3 months straight, my cable bill has been at least $450. 3 months straight. Like, what the fuck, man? So we got to figure out what's going on with these pay-per-views. We got to figure out what's going on with, well, one thing I was surprised to see is that on this Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu card, and I think it's going to be Thurman versus Tszyu, not Tszyu versus Thurman, because it's taking place at a catchweight of 155. There's no belt on the line. And it's Keith Thurman's promotional, managerial Heyman Sports, Heyman Boxing. So I think it's going to be Thurman versus Tszyu. There's no belt on the line. It's at 155 pounds. So Thurman's probably going to be the A side in this fight. But what I was shocked to see is you have Rolly Romero versus Isaac Cruz on the card, but then you have Lara versus Zarafa as the third fight, not the co-feature or anything. And Lara's one of those PBC fighters that commands a lot of money. So I'm wondering if the time has finally come for the great reset for a lot of these PBC fighters, to where it's like the money's just not there. Y'all got to take this pay cut, or y'all got to be on the shelf. And a lot of these guys been on the shelf for a long time. Keith Thurman, by the time he steps into the ring against Tim Tszyu, once it becomes official, March the 30th, it will only be his 5th fight in 7+ years. That's crazy. Keith Thurman is 35 years old. He'll be 36 in November. You think I'm joking? Let's go look at it. Take your time out. Like the video. Subscribe on TstreeT Controversy with FV360. So I've been off the grid. I've had the last couple of months. It's been wild in a beautiful way. It's been beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but I've been living the motherfucking dream. Let me tell you something. So that's why I ain't been around. I've been doing shit, man. Living life. So let's go look at the resume here. Keith one-time Thurman, 31-1 with 22 KOs. KOs for life. Look at this. 2016, one fight, Sean Porter. 2017, one fight, Danny Garcia. Near 2-year layoff, he fought Jose Zito Lopez. In January of 2019, Manny Pacquiao in July of 2019. His next fight wouldn't be until February of 2022. And now, 25 months later, it will be Tim Tszyu. It's crazy. And he wasn't supposed to lose to Pacquiao, remember? Pacquiao was supposed to be his passing of the torch. They were trying to build up him versus Errol Spence. He wasn't supposed to lose to old man Pacquiao. He wasn't supposed to go down like that. And now look, he's back. I just don't like what's been going on with this. I understand he got married. There was heavy rumors that he was over in Thailand before he met his wife. I think this is where she's from. No bullshit. There was some rumors that he was competing in like underground street fighting tournaments, like Kumite shit. No bullshit. They said he was in the Kumite tournaments. Hold on 1 minute. Make sure. So, I just feel that he is a jelly belly, and he's listed here on BoxRec at 5'9.5". Now, I've met Keith Thurman. He's the only fighter, him and Katie Taylor, weird combination, that I've interviewed multiple times. I've interviewed Keith Thurman maybe about 6 times, 6 different events, about 6 different times. Dude is about 5'7.5". He is not no 5'9.5". He's not no close to 5'10", nowhere near. Now, Tim Tszyu's about 5'9", closer to 5'10", but he's a smaller guy, fighting at 154. And he said before in the past that, he was a lifetime 147-pounder. Now this fight's taking place at 155. I have a concern that Tim Tszyu's going to punch him right in the stomach, and he not going to get up. Them body shots be having Keith Thurman moving. Like, moving. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. No, Keith Thurman can box. He's got some pop on his punches. But he's essentially going up to 2 divisions. Canelo weight, 155. That body is mad suspect. And Keith Thurman never been like a really ripped dude. So how is he going to look at that 155 coming off of a 25-month layoff? So I think he's getting his payday, and I think it's over for him. But if he does win, then again, there's no belts on the line. And a lot of people saying, well, why wouldn't the WBO? Well, think about it like this. If you don't remember, several years ago, let me pull it up real quick. Several years ago, Austin Trout sued the WBO because they removed him from the rankings. They removed him from the rankings, and it ended up with Liam Smith getting a shot at Canelo, and basically he sued him. This is the story right here. The former world boxing blah blah regime will continue the good fight in the courtroom until the United States appeals granted an appeal in Trout's favor in the latest $40 million lawsuit against the WBO. Let me see if I can find the... Trout officially filed his lawsuit in November of 2015, a few months after the New Mexico-bred southpaw was denied an opportunity to fight for the vacant WBO 154-pound title. Trout was ranked number 4 by the Puerto Rican-based sanctioning body at the time, when a review process was ongoing to determine whether Demetrius Andrade should have been permitted to extend. Basically, what the lawsuit was about is, not to get into too much mumbo-jumbo, is basically they removed him from the rankings. So they don't want another lawsuit, because if you just pop Keith Thurman into the rankings, a guy who hasn't fought in 25 months, whoever's being removed from the rankings for Keith Thurman to have his spot to compete for the belt can sue the WBO and be like, hey, why did you remove me from the rankings? It can even be number 15. Why did you remove me from the rankings? Oh, no, I earned my spot. This guy ain't fought in 25 months. So basically, it's some legal mumbo jumbo. And you know about these sanctioning bodies. They just be the WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO. They all got their own rules. They make it up as they go along. They follow the money. They're about, the bigger the fight, the more the sanctioning fees. So of course, I know they would love to sanction Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu for the WBO title at 154, but they don't want to get sued. They don't want to get sued. And also Keith Thurman having a layoff, they're probably like, all right, well, you're getting older now, so, give you a little bit of breathing room. Now, I would not be surprised if there's some type of rehydration clause in there, that either fighter can't talk about, because, I forgot what fight that was where you couldn't talk about the rehydration clause. I think it was Canelo versus who? Like, they couldn't talk about it at all. I think it was Canelo versus Kovalev. Couldn't talk about it at all. I think the fees are like 3%. It depends. I don't know off the top of my head. You can go to the rule books. They're online. They tell you exactly what the fees are. If you go to the sanctioning body's website, you go to their rule books. They'll tell you exactly what it is. But I forgot what they are off the top of my head. But yeah, we got some nice fights lined up. But I'm concerned that we're going to have more pay-per-views this year. We already had, I found it hilarious that fans were saying stuff like, yo, PBC and Showtime having the best year they've ever had. No shit, because the fights were on pay-per-view. We paid for those fights. Those wasn't broadcast fights that came with your subscription. So of course, and they were fighting for their lives. They were literally fighting to keep the channel and the brand alive. So of course they started flooding with all these good fights. And I'm thinking, like, why are we praising having to pay $75, $80 a month for pay-per-views? It was wild, like bananas. We had a lot of pay-per-views. I'm not saying it's new or, the new practice, but the shit was kind of ridiculous. Let's go look at the fight schedule. Let's go at the fight schedule. Let's go see what we got going on here. Dan Rayfield's Fight Freaks. Unite. All right, this weekend I'm going to be covering Munguia versus Ryder. I like this fight. The undercard, meh. I do want to see Gabriela Fundora fight. But everybody else, I really don't give a crap about. I'm a fucking 40-year-old man now. It's not the same no more. If this was years ago, I would have sat through this whole shit. Lewis Crocker versus Jose Felix. You think I'm going to be sitting here for that? I'm a 40-year-old man now. Then again, I might. I'm a low-down degenerate. I might be here for this. Let's see what's going on next week. The month of February. I don't care about Aston Silva. Nope. Nope. Ooh, Maricela Cornejo. Nope. Don't care about that. Castillo Clayton return. Nope. Don't care about this. All right, Buatsi versus Dan Aziz. Because it's Buatsi, I'll give this a gander. Caroline Dubois, she's got my attention. Ben Whitaker, I don't like the showboating too much, but I'm not giving him too much shit, but I don't think he's going to be that good. I think he's going to get sparked out. So, you know, kind of like I watch every Campbell-Hatton fight because I know it's going to happen one day. It's going to happen. You know, so I kind of feel the same about Ben Whitaker. I'm just waiting for him to get beat up. Conor Ben versus Pete Dobson. Now, this shit going to flop super, super crazy. Like, who is Conor Ben to be fighting in Vegas? Ain't nobody going to be in there. You know, you can tell that Matchroom Eddie Hearn, like his stable is spread so thin. Anytime you got to bring Conor Ben to the States, to Vegas, Conor Ben ain't selling shit in no Vegas. So I can't wait to see how empty that arena is going to be. Let's see what's going on. Teofimo Lopez versus Jamaine Ortiz. I like this fight. But if you notice, Teofimo, every other fight, he don't look good lately. So, you know, we got to kind of pay attention to that. Keyshawn Davis versus Jose Pedraza. Pedraza's officially a journeyman gatekeeper. Officially. He's the holder of the keys. He's the holder of the keys now. Let's see what else we got in February. What's going on? By the way, this fight is 3 weeks away. Oshaki Farso versus Abraham Noah. I like this fight. I like this card. Okay. But we are 3 weeks away tomorrow, since it's after midnight, Saturday. Fury versus Usyk. Opetaia versus Briedis 2. And the whole other undercard I really don't care too much about. However, Sergey Kovalev at cruiserweight, you know, even though he's a no-good vodka belly woman beater, dog beater too, still going to, you know, separate the man from the sport. So I'm still going. No, but you know what? You know what? Now, he's a son of a bitch. Did I tell y'all that time when he tried to grab my camera? Because he showed up to the Andre Ward press conference. It was the one in New York. They had a press tour. He showed up drunk. You could tell he was hungover or some shit. So I didn't know my flash was on. I got my camera, and like the flash is on. I ain't know. So he go to try to grab my fucking camera. I'm like, oh, you know? Y'all know me. I would have fucked him up. But, you know, I was like, be professional, you know. But anyway. You know, but yeah, he's, you know, when I first met Kovalev, I met him in Philly, of all places. The first boxing event I ever been to, major boxing event I ever been to, before the first boxing event I've been to was a house show, a club show, down South Philly. But the first major boxing event I ever been to was Hopkins versus Kovalev. I'm telling myself, I did the whole thing because it was in Atlantic City. I did the whole thing. I did the initial press conference, the media workout, like everything. So anyway, like I met Kovalev, like he was a cool dude. You know, I didn't know he was a drunkard. But later on, he just became an asshole. Like, you know? So anyway, I'm going to watch this Kovalev fight. You know, I'm going to watch it. All right? Still a little bit of bad blood, but I'm going to watch it. Let's see what else is going on in February. Alexandro Santiago versus Junto Nakatani. That's the dude who had beats Nonito Donaire. Takuma Inoue versus, this is ooh, I like this card. Ooh, February 24th from Tokyo. I like this card. Okay. Edgar Berlanga, you know he's the cannibal. It's three people, three types I can't stand. I can't stand fucking vampires. I can't stand cannibals, and I can't stand fucking black magic zombies. You know, zombies that just come alive, like no chemicals in the ground or nothing like that. But I can't stand no cannibal. By the way, that other cannibal back, Cash Ali. Remember the one that bit David Price? He's fighting Joe Joyce. Fucking cannibals, man. Make me sick. So February's Andy Cruz, all right, he's on there. So February's schedule is looking, I would rate it as C+, I guess. Who was it that Berlanga bit again and Top Rank fired his ass? Who was it that he bit? Who was it that he bit again? Fucking Edgar the Cannibal Berlanga. Who he bite? Was it Angulo? It wasn't Angulo. Who did he bite? Who did he bite? It wasn't Steve Rolls. I think it was Corseas. I think it was this dude. Let me look it up real quick. Who did Edgar Berlanga bite? That's it. I gave up on him after that. I give fighters passes, but once you go in there biting people, he bit Alexis Angulo. Look, fucking cannibal. Fucking cannibal. Look. Look.
Timmy, there was a unique
Straight vampire.
moment in that 7th round.
Look at him. Look at him. Bloodlust. Ravenous.
Attempt to bite him here on the shoulder.
Ew. Oh, he went for a second gnaw. He went for a second one. And you know it's hard as fuck to try to bite somebody with a mouthpiece in. Animal. He should be caged.
Oh, yes, he did. And you see the reaction right there.
Look, you see the bloodlust in his eyes. Anyway, moving on. Fucking cannibals, man. I don't want nothing to do with him. Let's see what March is looking like. March is kind of slow. You got Joshua versus Ngannou. I like that fight. I think Ngannou going to get beat up. That's for sure. I'm not going to disrespect Anthony Joshua like that. I think he's going to beat the shit out of Ngannou. Zhang versus Joseph Parker. Ooh, that's the fight of the month right there. Justice Haney. You got Roman Fury. It's a lot of them Furies. It's like fucking 50 of them. Zepeda versus Maxie Hughes. That's a nice fight. I like that one. Yeah, March is slow. Oscar Valdez versus Liam Wilson. Okay. And of course, March the 30th, Tim Tszyu, Keith Thurman, Rolly Romero versus Isak Cruz, Laura versus Zarafa. That's going to be a funny-ass press conference. Laura versus Zarafa, Fedor versus Bahachuk. Is that how you pronounce his name? That's going to be it's a lot of them Furies, man. It's a lot for real. Remember fucking Dempsey? Like, I did a video on Dempsey Fury. That's when I was a whole degenerate. I will cover anything. Let me find my Dempsey Fury video. Like, I used to cover anything. I ain't get no pussy. Dempsey. I was going through some shit. I would cover anything. Like, word. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. I was covering any fucking thing, bro. I was covering anything.
As you can see, I've not got a mark on
that was better. Be real
Uncle
TV.
Peter.
That's fucking Dempsey. Where the hell he go? I was covering anything at that time. I was on some degenerate shit. For real. April has Bakr Murtazalia versus Jack Kuke for that vacant IBF title. Murtazalia was a mandatory for fucking years. Jessica McCaskill taking on Ivana Habazin in Croatia. I guess she's no longer with Matchroom after accusing Matchroom or insinuating that they were tainting drug tests. Lomachenko versus Kambosos, the fight that nobody asked for. Nobody wants that fight, but it's happening. You know, shout out to George Kambosos. Win or loss, he's got a nice resume, you know. Hold on, drinking some tea. What's going on, guys? But yeah, I'm gonna be here this weekend. We're trying to give the channel like that kickstart, like the what is it? The defibrillator? Oh, goof, goof. You know, my shit been kind of dead. I ain't been here. I ain't been here for a long time. I ain't been around. Yo, I think that Fury gonna lose to Usyk. You know, I do like how Fury's been keeping his mouth shut, though, going back to business. You know, staying off of social media. I like that. That's what's up. I was saying I'm not too confident in this PBC deal. Remember, their first pay-per-view is kicking off with Tim Tszyu versus Thurman. That's not scary at all. Tim Tszyu don't got no type of footprint over here. You know, people are not going to be like, oh, shit. Yo, they're not going to be, yo, motherfucking Tim Tszyu fighting, dog, this weekend on pay-per-view against Keith Thurman. Yeah, he ain't fighting 25 months, but yo, you know? Like, we're the hard-hitting names. They should have kicked that shit off with Tank Davis versus somebody. You know, and I'm not knocking Tim Tszyu. It's a dream come true for him because he's located to the States. He wants to be an American superstar. I'm not saying, like, dude is good, but, like, his name don't ring no bells over here. His ratings for his fights ain't been the ones here in the States, been abysmal for whatever reasons, you know. And I personally think that what me and Big J talked about is that they owed him a fight because of what Jermall Charlo did. He was waiting for Jermall Charlo for so long, and all of a sudden Jermall Charlo goes up and fights Canelo. So I just think they had to sacrifice Keith Thurman. That's what I think they did. I think they had to sacrifice Keith Thurman. What's going on, Hugh? Yeah, we're back. We're back talking some boxing. Trying to give the channel a kickstart. I like Sandy Ryan versus Terry Harper. Campbell Hatton, he gonna get knocked out one day. It's gonna happen. I watch all of his fights to see his ass get fucking clocked one day. There's no disrespect to the mate. You know, it's the game is the game, you know? The game is the game. How much you want to bet this guy James Flint don't got no KO ratio? Look, 3. Look, 3. Look, I told you. What is up with his beard? British Amish? Is that a thing? Is that a such thing as being British and Amish at the same time? What is up with this man's cut? What is this going on right there? He looks like a fucking hobbit. Let me stop. I'm tripping. But yeah, so far these first few months, this schedule, I mean, you got some nice fights in there, but nothing that really sticks out. I mean, yes, Fury Usyk is the fight. Joshua Ngannou, those are the fights, you know, but Tim Tszyu versus Thurman don't really move the needle for me. You know, I think Thurman gonna get stopped. The layoff, going up 2 divisions, his weakened body. You know, once he got married, he ain't been the same. I'm just not sure about the bloke. I'm just not sure. I want to believe, you know, but ain't nothing there. Lara versus Zarafa. I won't be surprised if Zarafa beats Lara. Lara is, let's say Lara is long in the tooth. He's been around. Lara's been around since PlayStation 2. Lara's been around since Nintendo 64. Now, when Nintendo 64? Lara's been around since GameCube and PlayStation 2. He's been around forever. Look, I bet you, look. Here is Lindy Lara. Fucking knockout kings. Where's it at? Wait. What was it? He been around since 32-bit graphics. Look, that's how long Lara been around.
Good evening, everybody. Joe Tessitore.
Since the fucking Thomas and Mack Center. That's how long he looked. That's Lara. Look how long he been around. You know he like 55 in Cubano years. I don't care. They gonna always talk shit about me. Them Cubans be lying about their age. They ain't slick. I've been figured it out. But Lara been around for eternity though. Like he's listed at 42, right? Let me see how old is Lara. He the new Gary Russell. He's lit. Ain't no way. This month he ain't no 40 years old. He ain't no. They say he 40 years old. Yeah, right. He fought Paul. Yo, he ain't 40 years old. Look at his resume. Look at his resume. Look at his resume. Look at his resume. He fought Paul Williams. That was like an eternity ago. He fought Carlos Molina. Not that Molina. Carlos Molina, the stat rapist. He fought him. Bro. Look at his resume. Ew. Look at his resume since 2014, since Canelo. Ew. Look at this shit. Ishe Smith, Delvin Rodriguez, Jan Zabek, Venice Maserati, Yuri Foreman. He had a knee brace on Yuri Foreman. That was on Spike TV. Terrell Boucher, Jared Hurd, okay. Bron Castano, okay. Canelo's balding brother with the widow's peak. Ew. Greg Vendetti, Thomas Lamana, Gary Spike O'Sullivan. Ew. How's he been getting away with this? He just pop out of his hole and just fight some bullshit. 2020, Vendetti. 2021, Lamana. 2022, Gary O'Sullivan. You want to know an interesting fact about Erislandy Lara? He sunk 2 networks for PBC. His fight against Jan Zabek was the very last fight on PBC on ESPN. His fight with Yuri Foreman was the very last fight on PBC on Spike TV. His fight against Jan Zabek, let me tell you what they had. Let me show you this shit. It was a rainy ass day and they had like beach chairs in the front row just blowing over in the wind. The fuck, man? It was just these, no bullshit. I'm not lying to you. It was like, I'm pulling it up now. Like, and ESPN was like, oh no, y'all gotta go. Y'all got to go. Let's see if I can find some clips. It's like, get that shit off our network. It was like, get that, ew, what's this quality? Ew.
2 fights.
Ew. And you know what? I was at the Terrell Boucher fight. And they just ended the fight. There's like, nope, everybody go home. There was no post-fight press conference. People were walking out.
And delivers a hard smack to Zavik. Stops the fight. And Lara wins by TKO in the third round.
This was the last fight for PBC on ESPN. They were never the same after that. Never the same after that. But no, lately though, Lara been putting boots in asses. You know, with Thomas Lamana and Gary Spike O'Sullivan, but you got to think it's Spike O'Sullivan in 2022. Like way long past the tooth. Anyway, how you guys doing? How you guys making out? Everything all right? Trash ass fights. But yeah, I'll be here this weekend, covering some boxing. I think that John Ryder can beat Munguia. Munguia just be all over the place. You never know which one gonna show up. One day he just look like this. One fight he'll like this dominating force, and then another fight is just like, oh yeah, anybody can beat him if you just know how to box a little bit. You know, but somebody gonna get him. I won't be surprised if he gets stopped one day, like get the shit beat out of him. Derevyanchenko was taking it to him. You know, take your time out. Like the video, subscribe, and TstreeT Controversy with FV360. Hey, let's go on a small commercial break, about 60 seconds actually. 90 seconds, about that. Hold on 1 minute. Seriously, about 90 seconds starting now. Be right back. Here's a word from our sponsors.
Princess, both by Frances Hodgson
right
Burnett, and a biography, Frances Hodgson Burnett, by Phyllis Bixler. These and many other interesting books are waiting for you in your local library and bookstore. Visit them. They'll be happy to help you read more about it.
Knock, knock.
Monday.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
He's Major Dad. And he's a real scream.
Tuesday, an officer is shot.
Who helps cops when they're in trouble?
An extraordinary story of courage and caring on an all-new Rescue 911. On Jake and the Fat Man. McCabe and a kid targeted by the mob are stranded on a deserted island, and only Jake can save them. Wednesday.
From CBS News, this is Health Watch. If you're thinking of going to a tanning parlor this winter, think again. The reason, after this.
There's what inside this cold reliever? Liquid. New Comtrex Liquid Gels. Liquid cold medicine inside an easy-to-swallow gelatin shell for relief of all these symptoms.
New Comtrex Liquid Gel.
The all-new way to get fast Comtrex relief.
You may have heard that the ultraviolet rays which give you a tan are closely linked with skin cancer and premature skin aging. But they may also injure your eyes, possibly causing cataracts and damaged retinas. The concentrated radiation in a tanning booth is especially dangerous. If you use a tanning machine, the American Medical Association says be sure to wear special yellow protective glasses.
All right, we are back after a word from our sponsors. Be sure to check out Comtex and stay away from tanning booths or you'll get the cancer. So yeah, anyway, where were we? Where do we leave off? We leave off. Where do we leave off? I had a lot of crap I wanted to talk about, but I said, you know what? Let me give you guys some time. You got some time. I am interested in who they're going to have Tank fight, though. I'm glad it's not Eastside Cruz. Like, he ain't been doing nothing. I think him versus Rolly is the perfect fight for both of them. Because, for one, Rolly funny. But let's be honest. People don't think he's that good. And also, people think he, like, kind of slow. I'm not saying this. I'm just, you know, the voice of the people. But I think it's the perfect fight for all of them. But one thing, though, about Rolly is he got a lot of confidence. He go out there like he can really throw down. And to be honest, he was hitting. He wasn't scared of a Tank. He was going out there until he got his ass slept, of course. He was trying to do some work. I like Rolly, though. Oh, yeah, Tank changed his name. Check your time out. Like the video. Yeah, Tank did change his name. He's converted to Islam, from my understanding. Good for him. Good for him. I don't have anything, nothing to say about that, actually. People were trying to clown him, and it's like, really? Like, what do you get out of that? You know who also I'm sick of? Jake Paul. I'm glad he's kind of, like, dialed it back a little bit. I'm checking all these boxing emails that I haven't checked in weeks. Conor Ben's having a media workout tomorrow. Oh, it was today. Did he ever get fully cleared yet? And what's up with Alicia Baumgartner? Did she get cleared yet? I don't think she did. I don't like to judge people, but I think she did that shit. Like, she was always, like, pretty, like, muscular, but at one point in time, she just got jacked, you know? Well, a rumor that I haven't been able to confirm anywhere is that she's going to be, Tank versus Frank Martin is in the talks, but Frank Martin's also has to be repaid for turning down that Shakur Stevenson money. So whoever told him to turn that down got to be telling him like, all right, we got a bigger something for you. But Tank Davis versus Frank Martin, if I'm being honest, I've always wanted Tank Davis versus Gary Russell. That's been my dream fight for both of them. Like, I would love that fight. Like, I would love that fight. But, you know, we're not going to get it. We don't know what's going on with Gary Russell. And I can't believe he lost to Mark Magsayo. But he was injured. You know, he was injured. He had one arm. And his pop had died. You know, so he was going through some things. But he literally had one arm. No, I don't think she's officially cleared. I think she cleared herself. I don't think she's officially cleared. I don't think she's cleared. Yeah, listen, certain fighters, like her body changed big time. Like big time. Like she was always like muscular and cut, but she got like, you know, like she got it was a big time. Big time. Gary not tall. They're about the same height. No, Tank is kind of small. Tank like 5'4". Like Tank a little dude. I've met him multiple times in prayer. He's a little dude. Gary Russell, I think Gary Russell is a little bit taller, but not by much. Not by much. Let's see here. What's going on? But yeah, I guess I need to start doing Fury Usyk shoulder content. Let me see what's going on, if they got anything on the zone. Let's see here. By the way, who have you guys been listening to? I haven't been listening or watching too much boxing content. Like, boxing has kind of become on YouTube. Like, I don't know how you guys do it. Like, listen to these people.
The undefeated.
I'm gonna watch this
to find out who is the best heavyweight in the world.
I'm gonna watch this.
Я 5 неділь можу боксувати без перестану.
So basically, we have two boys. You both train for 5 weeks. It's one of the biggest fights in history, but you're only training for 5 weeks.
We've been boxing all our lives from little boys.
I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this. This is not the full version, though. I gotta find the full version. By the way, oh my gosh, let's talk about the zone. They're trying to charge people $30 a month. What is wrong with them? They're maniacs. Like Disney Plus, to get Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu, it's $20 a month. Amazon Prime is $16 a month. Netflix is too expensive, it's too expensive than it should be. But it is no way the zone is worth no $30. They better show some cartoons. They got to put something on there for people to be $30 a month. And then for the good fights, you still have to pay pay-per-view? Degenerate maniacs make me sick. Let me go to my Twitter page. I'm going to show you what I posted. Go to my Twitter page. Like, what are they thinking? Like, it's like, yo, like, it's certain things I can deal with. Look at this. What the fuck does that mean? 12-month contract, $20 a month, 12 monthly installments, minimum term 12 months. So you can't cancel. And by the way, this flexible pass, let me tell you what they do. They have a way that they schedule their fights to where this is what I have. I have the flexible joint. You can cancel anytime. I put that on my food stamp card. So when the food stamps run out, they don't get their money. So let me tell you what they do. You can get it and pay for 1 month, But then as soon as you get billed, you have to cancel like the same day you're billed. Because they'd be like, nah, it ain't been 30 days yet. Like, weird. Like, there's some money hungry. And this motherfucker right here, Twilight, he just be disappearing. This Twilight. Joe Markowski. Look at this guy. Oh, bloodsucker. Like, remember when they said, oh, yeah, pay-per-view is dead. You don't have to pay for no pay-per-view. We're here to change the market. We're here to bring over the big fights. And all you do is pay, what was it at the point, $10 a month? You know, I used to do beta testing for them. I used to get access to, like, all the insider stuff. I got the zone free for, like, 2 years. I ain't gonna lie. You know? But then after a while, I saw what they were doing to the people. And I said, I can't be involved in this, man. Like, especially once they went to a point where it's like, you want us to pay a monthly subscription for bullshit, and then for the good fights that you were giving us in the monthly subscription, now we got to pay for pay-per-view on top of that. And if you have the app, you get to pay, you get to get it cheaper. But if you want to pay, it's just, bro, you on some weird shit. You on some, it's not our fault that y'all been blowing all this money on AK and Barack and all these this bullshit. We gotta pay for everything. No disrespect to AK and Barack. I'm just saying, it's like, that's not our fault. Y'all throwing all this money at Canelo versus Rocky fucking Fielding, giving Jesse Vargas and Mikey Garcia crazy money to fight in some bullshit fight. They fattened Mikey Garcia up real good. They fattened him up real good. To the point where, like, he got his money. He ain't want to fight no more. Having Meek Mill doing boxing content. I don't want to hear nothing Meek Mill got to say about boxing. Philly or not. Meek Mill produced. Like, I want to see that shit. So they're about to make me start. Listen, don't get me started. I'm about to say some shit. But it's like, yo, boxing is becoming not only expensive as a fan, but expensive to cover. Pay-per-views every month. Subscriptions, then you got to buy pay-per-views. PBC. Are we going to get a discount if we have Prime on the pay-per-views? How's it going to work? Are we going to get free delivery by 2 p.m. on our pay-per-view buys? How's it going to work? So you mean tell me I got to have Amazon Prime and then I charge the pay-per-view to my Prime membership? They better send me some free Boxing for All t-shirts or something. Because I'm hearing that it's going to be 14 shows a year, and majority of those are going to be pay-per-views. Come on, man. And you're starting off with Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman. That's not giving me no faith. Y'all starting off March the 30th with Tim Tszyu, a 154-pounder, taking on a 25-month layoff 147-pounder, fighting at 155 as your first pay-per-view. And I'm supposed to be like, oh, yeah, PBC, they cooking, man. They coming out hard. That's why they don't like me. That's why I've been blacklisted. Because they want you to come to the events. I told y'all, they want you to come to events and suck cock. And be like, yo, man, you guys are doing good. Y'all putting on the fights for the people. And it's like, don't get me wrong. I like the card. But not for no pay-per-view. Not trying to hear it. And it's the first one. That's not a pay-per-view that get me like, yo, oh shit. You know? They could have gave us Spence versus Thurman, and I would have been more excited. Like, oh shit. We got, something, anything. Yeah, I'm not happy. Let me stop bitching and complaining. Let me stop. Let me relax. Let me stop. I was getting a little untethered, Oh, people, they listen. I'm guessing people gonna pay for it. Obviously, I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna buy it. Okay, all right. But whatever. I do it for the people. I do it for you. I'm just a voice of the people. You know, I do it for you. We need the content. But that don't mean I'm gonna be happy about it. I don't have to be happy. You know, I'm still a customer. No matter how you slice it. And how's the saying go? What's it? I forgot how the quote goes. But real journalists are going to print what other people don't want to print or talk about. Something along those lines. And it's like, yo, like, I'm not going to be sitting there, like, not talking about the elephant in the room. It's like, hey, y'all starting off your first pay-per-view with your new deal with an Australian fighter whose ratings were shit here in the States. Y'all starting off and telling people to buy him versus a guy who is 1-1 in his last 2 fights, but his last fight was 25 months ago, and then in the last 7 years, he's only had 5 fights. And you're saying, yeah, give us $75 for that. Oh, when you get Rolly Romero versus Isaac Cruz. Rolly Romero's funny. Oh, and you get Iris Lindy Lara. Hey, you forgot about him? American Dream. Cuban fighter. You see once a year as well. Versus another Australian, Mix Zarafa. Oh, yeah, and let's put in the towering inferno, Sebastian Fundora, whose height. Did you notice every Sebastian Fundora fight, he's a different height. It's like, oh, Wandell, the 6'6" Sebastian Fundora, the towering 6'9". More of a, like, every fight, Sebastian Fundora is a different height. What is his height? They're like, he's 6'5", he's 6'9", he's 6'12". Like, come on, man. Apologize. Let me calm down. And over in Australia, they make Australians pay for anything. Australia, they put anything on pay-per-view. And I know, I cover that shit. They got Nikita Tszyu, Tim Tszew's younger brother, fighting God knows who, $60 pay-per-view, boom. Go, you got that. Australians, they make them pay for anything. And they'll do it. Them Australians, man, them guys are crazy. Those guys are nuts. They will pay for any boxing event, yo. They just put anything on pay-per-view over there. Let me go show you. Let me pull something up. See if they have anything up yet. They charge for Mundine fights till Mundine damn near died. Let me see what you got here. Look, what the fuck is this? Look, this is Australian. Look. That's Austin Trout. Look, this is the Australian pay-per-view page. That is Austin Trout. $50. Bro. To be fair, they charging us for this over here too. To be fair. But yeah, they charge you guys over there for anything. Paul Gallen fights, $60. Degenerates. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm calming down. You pay for Nakia, Mark. You can tell us. Don't lie. That's a sin. You can't do that. You got to tell the truth. Jesus is watching. You paid for it. They charge for prospect fights over there. And I forgot Austin Trout was in Bare Knuckle. That's Austin No Doubt Trout. Like, bro, like, what is going on out here? What is going on? Yeah, I think Keith Thurman gonna get punched right in his jelly belly. Tim Tszyu's got a very good and competent body attack. Tim Tszyu can fight. You know, it took some time for him to grow on me. But see, I'm a tough critic, especially since I'm older, I'm jaded. So even though I'm only 40, I'm like 80 years old in boxing years. So I'm really hard to please, and I'm always going to complain about something. I'm going to find something. You know, so as far as Thurman is concerned, he gonna get. I just don't like it. I think he gonna get punched right in his stomach. I can see him getting stopped by Tim Tszyu. I can see him getting stopped. But Keith Thurman can fight, but he's been on for 30, 25 months. And he's had one fight in 3 years. Like, you know? You know, I just don't trust it. I just don't trust it. With that being said, I mean, 40 for Bud versus Spence, that ain't bad. You can't really argue with that. It's Bud versus Spence, especially if you're a hardcore boxing fan. I think all hardcore boxing fans, that's a fight. It's certain fights that we should pay for. You see what I'm saying as boxing fans? There's certain fights we can't really bitch about. Like Bud versus Spence, that's not a fight you can bitch about. Fury versus Usyk, I don't think that's a fight you can bitch about. You know, like it's certain fights, it's like, all right, cool. You know, it's like, I'll pay for that. You know, Tank versus Ryan, depending on how you look at it, but it's like, it's a fight. It's like, all right, I can buy that. I'm not going to bitch about that, you know? But Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman, nah, shouldn't be pay-per-view. I mean, over in Australia, okay, Tim Tszyu's already pay-per-view, but, you know, nah. But at least I'm glad they stacked the card up because you have 4 of those fights that could have been their own main event on an own show, and you have 2 of those fights that if PBC could, they would have had pay-per-view. If it was Showtime, you know damn well it would have made Rolly versus Eastside Cruz a pay-per-view. They would have made that shit pay-per-view. That's kind of damning. I'm hearing those rumors about Floyd and Manny going to be fighting at the end of this year in an exhibition. I'm hearing that. Y'all heard about that? I heard this like 3 weeks ago, maybe, or I don't know. I don't know if it was the beginning of the year or the end of last year that Floyd and Manny are in talks for an exhibition in Japan. But remember, they've been talking about this exhibition for like 4 years now, if you think about it. Like literally when Floyd had his first fight, his first exhibition, his second one, when he fought Poor Tension, Nasukawa. They were talking about him and Manny having an exhibition. So we're going to see. I'll believe it when I see it. You know, I don't think that Floyd going to fight no fight like that, if I'm being honest. He's going to fight guys he know he can beat. I'm not saying he can't beat Manny, but I'm saying he want to fight fights where he don't have to work. You know, like real hard. You know, him and Manny at the same age, so Manny could probably beat him. You know, it could probably be a fluke, anything. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. You know, like these guys are older now, and Floyd, you know, like he don't really want to box. He want to just make money, you know, or as he says, legalize bank robbery. You know, so he want to fight social media influence and shit. Remember, up until he stopped McGregor, that wasn't easy. And even Logan Paul, but Logan Paul was fucking 200 pounds, not 190 pounds, so that was a little bit different. But Floyd ain't trying to work. Yeah, I'm cool with Thurman and Tszyu not fighting for the WBO title because it would have been unfair to the other ranked fighters. It's like, how did he come back? Now, if it was the WBC would have been like, sure, bring him right on in, put him right in the rankings. And the WBA too, because they're trash. I hate the WBA. Like, literally, hate's a strong word. I hate that organization. Did I tell y'all about the time I almost made the WBA president cry? I'm going to show y'all. I almost made that motherfucker cry. Gilberto Mendoza, you make me sick. I'm going to show you. I almost made him cry. He started turning up his face. He was like, we'll talk about that later on. I almost made his ass cry. Let me see. Where's it at? Oh, I think this is it.
Important statement.
I was trolling him in the chat. Let me see if I can find it. Thinking they should get their money back.
The third out campeão.
I'm gonna make the motherfucker cry. Hold on, I'm looking for it. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. So what? That's what he get, man. WBA president Humberto Mendoza, you make me sick. Damn, I can't find it. I'm gonna find it. So anyway, I asked him. What I asked him? I asked him something about like what's he gonna do with all the belts? Some shit, and he was pretty pissed. He was pretty pissed because they were scared to ask him, but TstreeT ain't scared to ask him. WBA president. Dang, where's it at? I'm not gonna spend too much time trying to find it. But yeah, almost made that motherfucker cry. Humberto Mendoza. Dag, I'm not gonna be able to find it, guys.
Important statement. Let's.
I'm not gonna be able to find it. Yo, is he gonna cry?
Próximo ranking no van a.
Oh, that was me. This is not the question. No, wait, then I can't find it. I want to embarrass him every chance I get. No, I can't find it, guys. We're gonna have to wait. I tried. I'm gonna try to find it again. Hold on one more time. One more time. Anyway, I can take some questions. What are you guys doing? Are you guys making out? What are you guys making out? There were some money-hungry grubbers. I can't stand the WBA. Make me sick. I can't find it. We're going to have to leave it alone. One day I'll show you guys. One day. One day. It's just not today. Damn, man. I did a lot of videos. Anyway, here's some of these comments. Yeah, at one point in time, the WBA had a WBA Super, WBA World, WBA Gold, WBA Interim, and WBA Champion and Recess, just charging everybody. Like, maniacs. Like, just did not care. I got some crazy video titles here. Look at this one right here. It says, did TstreeT run or stalk LDBC rep Blue Blood? Plot thickets confronts ESN News over fake news title. What was I doing out there? Alien Hopkins speaks on Duval lawsuit to want Sergey not Adonis. You know who I always hated to talk to? I guess I could look back on it, Bernard Hopkins. He never was talking about anything. He'd be like, you see, now, when you go into the ring against a guy like that, you never know, because Jack Johnson, he knew. It was the psychology of it. And sometimes you wake up and you see the moon where the sun is supposed to be. And you be like, what the fuck are you talking about? So one time I tricked him up. I kind of like, I threw him a trick question to try to fuck with him. Let me show you. I can show you. I'm sorry. This is TstreeT story time. I was like, what was the thought process? Let me see something. I like fucking with boxers sometimes. Because he'll start, like, you'll ask him a question, and then he'll start trying to deviate. And it's like, no, motherfucker, you're going to answer the question. Oh, this is where I got him. This is where I got him. And you could tell he was stumped a little bit. He was like, who is this guy questioning me? Think he gonna match wits with me?
And anybody that fights this guy has an opportunity to not be the same.
So look, he gonna start talking about a whole bunch of nothing, but I'm gonna get him good.
That's real. We don't want to take nothing away from him.
Oh, by the way, this was before he got his ass knocked out the ring by Joe Smith Jr. This was at the media workout in the Joanne Gym in Philadelphia on, it was in 2014 sometime. Damn, this was 10 years ago. This was fucking 10 years ago.
When November 9th, which is Sunday, we don't want no one saying differently what they said prior to November 8th. See, you can't have both sides, even though you might want both sides. This man is not threatening anybody. This won't be an easy fight. It might look easy to you. But there's a lot of other things in my life and my career, and I always believe I'm fighting politics. It's just my belief. And I understand that not only I gotta beat the man, I gotta beat a lot of people. That's the way I operate. And when I go to bed, I know a lot of people go to bed upset.
So look, this me. I'm like, all right, this motherfucker not talking about nothing. I'm gonna throw a wild card in there. I start getting closer.
And so, perfect. They either gonna watch me win, or they're gonna watch me lose. And that game, I don't mind playing. Because I understand me, and I know me. I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in this is your time, this ain't your time. I believe in whoever brings, they really believe best of themselves. And understand that they're going to sacrifice whatever they have to do to be victorious, to win. That's plain and simple. That's plain and simple. And that's how I feel. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I stopped letting people for many, many years of my life. Now this is what wisdom becomes now of age. It doesn't really bother me one way or the other whether somebody root for me or they don't. Like, I'm not controlled by people's opinion about me. When my kids see me, and when my kids can read and write and go to private school for $20,000 a head a year, kindergarten, first grade, not high school. When my family, who I know at the end of the day, when I step through that door, and when time comes, and they look at me with respect for what I've made a path for them to be, that's the only thing that matters. Because if you are dictated or motivated in that part, I'm motivated by what people might do or say or think.
So mind you, I'm sitting there. As you can see, this interview is about 7 minutes long, or this media scrum. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, everybody just sitting there shaking their head like, damn, that's deep. Like, yo, that's deep. And I'm sitting there behind the camera. I'm like, the fuck is he talking about? Like, you know, and I'm like, okay, like, what are we getting to? You know, and I'm pretty sure the guy asked him, like, what do you think about Kovalev as a fighter? And he's like, you know, when I look at my kids and they're selling candy bars in the school, $20 a piece, I say, you dictate your life. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
But certain things you just can't be motivated by that action. Because it will never stop. Because no matter who you be, no matter how many people you upset, you're always going to have something else. And so when you're dealing with that scenario and you're dealing with that type of gent, you're wasting your time. But I ain't always think that way. So I must tell you, I've grown to, I ain't always think that way. Because no matter what, There's always going to find some Looney Tune that's going to tell you that wall is not the color that wall is. Because that's how it is. You don't agree, I don't agree, but that's how it is. So you do what you do, and the people that cares, the people that you care about, you leave that legacy. And when it's all said and done, then you that time, and what's going on in that time, duplicate or beat that record. Because for me to be able to say to everybody in the world that no one expected me not only to become what I became, but they thought I'd be going 10, 15 years ago. So I became the worst nightmare. And the more...
All this time I'm playing an interview. I don't think this is the one. I think it was the Joe Smith one when I asked the question. But yeah, anyway, as you can see, this man just be talking about anything. I have a lot of funny experiences with boxers, and I just be looking like, yo, a lot of times you think like, yo, this fucking multimillionaire, but they don't really know what they be talking about. They just be saying anything. You know, especially if you catch them during a final press conference, they be hungry. You never, like, you know, they be real hungry and irritable. Let me see if I can find this. You know, you want to be careful with that. Like, a hungry-ass boxer will cuss you the fuck out. Like, they don't like that one. Damn, I had a lot of fucking videos, bro. I was like, yeah, so what's the thought process? And he was like, thought process? And I was like, yeah, what's the thought process of fighting a guy like Joe Smith? He's like, huh? Anyway, I can't find it. Is this the one? Oh, this is the one. Look, and this is a whole different one. Look, this is a whole different fight. And he's still talking bullshit. This is a whole different fight. Look, this is fucking 2 years later.
It was the reason. And then Johnny...
This was 2 years since the last clip, and he's still talking shit.
Jackson became what? One of my trainers at one time for, I guess, 7 fights. I always kept insurance in the business of boxing, the business of life, just in case you get into that accident down the street. I use the word that the referee uses that I use in life. You protect yourself at all times. And as a shrewd businessman, as a smart businessman, as a person that, and I call myself that, less than 60 days, with a body like a 25-year-old.
I'm sorry, I can't do it no more. I can't do it no more because sometimes I watch his interviews and I get so frustrated because I be like, what the fuck is he talking about? I was going back down memory lane, my bad. You guys didn't, Oh, this is when I talked to Oscar. Oscar was high as shit. He was high as shit.
To me, middle-aged men or whatever it is, he's just gonna leave that impression that, look, I mean, you can do whatever you want, literally accomplish whatever you want, whether it's in sports, whether it's...
Yeah, Oscar had a rough night the night before I heard him talking about it. I ain't gonna put him out there, but you know, sometimes I do want to get back out there in the field, you know? But also at the same time, like, I just don't like dealing with them people, man. Like, rich people, like, just be, you know. Oh, Oscar be high as shit. The stories that man got out there, talking about some party animal. He broke my heart. I remember when I first found out about him dressing up in those women's clothing. I thought that, I was like, you know what? I was in college at the time. When he dressed up like the bitch. I was in college at the time. And I remember, like, we were, like, looking on, like, Yahoo or AOL.com or something. I think it was on a Black Planet. And they was like, yo, you see your fucking favorite boxer? Oscar De La Hoya, and they showed him the one where he got the drink and he got the hat, the woman's hat on, and he looking like that, you know, with the wig. And I'm like, man, y'all seen Jurassic Park and Toy Story? That's the digital. That's that digital CGI, computer generated graphics. They put that shit on him. That ain't my hero. I was in denial. I was like, that ain't him. And then they showed the one where he's like he got the pink. Oh, Oscar, fucking degenerate. Oh man, I'm still. But anyway, I was hurt. And then when he did the press conference with Millie, his ex-wife, and he admitted it was him, I was like, oh Lord, fuck, man. Like, what would make you get? I don't understand. Like, how you can't get. There is no type of high I can ever get or drunk that makes me want to dress up in women's clothing. Like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, babe, I'm fucked up. Give me your fucking underwear. Let me put them shits on. Like, what was he thinking? Like, man, he was never the same after that. Never the same. And then telling the females to take pictures. Like, he broke my heart with that shit. Broke my heart with that shit. Because I was fighting. I was like, yo, that's not him. He's a fucking Olympian. Fucking multi-division world champion. He boiled all the way down to 147 pounds, 145 to fight Manny Pacquiao. He would never dress up like a woman. He did. He did. And turns out a whole bunch of other shit happened too. But you know, I guess he's clean now. I guess he can be. So, you know, it is what it is, you know? Yeah, Millie, man. Metal Gear Solid's one of my favorite games of all time. Yeah, man. Anyway, what's going on? Listen, I'm sorry. I don't know how you guys, what kind of question is that? Will you do it if someone gave you $50 million? No, because that means somebody gave me $50 million to dress up like a bitch. I'm not doing that. Like, I'd rather go to bed. I'd be pissed, but I'd be like, I got my dignity. Like, dressing up like I'm like, yeah, right. Right. I know some people don't have no morals and degenerates out there, but some money can buy some things, and it's not going to be me. What fight, let's see, T, what fight could you get back in the house? What do you mean? What fight could get you back in the house? Tank Shakur, Bud, Mel. I want Canelo Crawford. I want that bad. I want Canelo Crawford bad. That's the fight that I want. I think I can say I want that. I want Tank versus Loma. Tank versus Haney. Tank versus Gary Russell. Gary Russell, that's gonna have me in. I'm talking about I'm gonna be selling that fight to the high heavens. Like, that fight would get the blood really pumping. I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, dream fight, finally. But also, it's time. If you notice, Al Heyman's been giving all of his first guys, he's been giving them all their major paydays. Remember, he even gave Andre Berto a payday against Mayweather when he didn't deserve it. Jermall got his payday against Canelo. Spence got his paydays. Who else did he cash out? Wilder's gotten cashed out. Leo got cashed out. He's been cashing people out. Jermall gonna get cashed out. I strongly believe that Jermall Charlo is next. He's been trying to get Canelo to fight Jermall Charlo for years. Meaning Al Heyman. You know, so I think Gary Russell gonna get his payday. Yeah, you gotta keep your dignity, man. Like, yeah, you'll be pissed by not having a $50 million, but you be like, hey, ain't nobody gave me money to dress up like a bitch. Like, and then, you know, excuse my language. Yeah, those sweet nose clams. But yeah, we need to start streaming more. I ain't got shit else to do. I've had a crazy few months, man. If you guys knew, I wish I could put it into words. I've been like living, bro. Like living. But we're getting it back together. We're, you know, pulling the band together. We're back together, however you want to say it. I don't know. What do you mean I look better? I've lost 50-something pounds. And I've been fucking hitting the fucking gym. You can't really see it. But I've been bulking up. I've been taking snack and creatine and all kind of shit. So I'm probably pissing hot. I'm not passing no Vada. Not because of snack. I'm just saying. I'm probably taking a whole bunch of shit. I'm not taking no needles, though. But cardio was through the roof. Cardio was through the roof. Straight through the roof. My bad, I was looking at something. Yeah, Keith Thurman getting cashed out too. What do you think about Israel Gaza? I'm not talking about none of that. That's not. I don't care about none of that. Nope. Not over here. Not over here. Like, I'm American. I'm a proud American, and I'm going to stay a proud American. America. I'm just a voice of the people. The voices shall be heard. Yeah, but I think Errol Spence is going to retire. He don't seem like he want no interest in fighting anymore. Like, that man whooped his ass. That was a vicious ass beating, though. Like, we've seen some ass beatings, like, but that was an ass beating. Like, he just smashed him all up. Like, my Lord. My Lord. Smashed him all up. Nah, me and Big J did a video. We did a video before this on Stu versus Thurman. Oh my gosh. We did a video already before. Nah, I don't be smoking no more. Not like I used to. Nope, we grass-fed over here, man. Just fine foods, fine women. And just world keep on spinning. World keep on spinning. That's what we doing. Yeah, we did a video earlier. Spence not the same after the accident. Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not the same after the accident. He looked the same to me when he beat up Ugas. Broke his eye, and Danny Garcia looked the same to me. You know? So I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. He got beat up. And that's the type of beating, it was so severe that it's like, yo, even at your best, I don't think you can beat that dude. Like, no, I'm not trying to hear none of that. What do you think about that CCC fight in Japan? What's CCC fight in Japan? I've been off the grid. I've been off the grid. Like, barely been watching any news, no nothing. I've been off the grid, like living life, my man. I'm back now, though, but I've been off the grid. No, can't stay away from the fine women. No, I'm done with that life, man. I'm done. I'm done. I'm out here living, you know. Man of God, I'm done. All that. All these different women and all that stuff, that life is behind me. And the stress level is just too damn high. Keith Thurman just posted something. Keith Thurman just confirmed the fight. Let me pull up the link real quick. Keith Thurman just confirmed. I did hear that an official announcement for the PBC Amazon deal will be happening this weekend. So I'm guessing it is going to be happening this weekend. Here's what he posted. Let's go to Keith Thurman's Instagrams. Here's what he posted.
Fight fans, let's go. Real news, it's your boy Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu. Coming to you, Las Vegas, March 30th, live, Amazon Prime pay-per-view. Come on, baby. Who is gonna beat who? Thurman versus Tszyu. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, fight fans, let's go. Real news, it's your boy Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu.
Well, that was pretty corny and cringe, but we got the official announcement. It's happening. All right, there you are. It's official. It's happening. Listen, despite Keith Thurman being the smaller fighter, he will be the best name on Tim Tszyu's resume. Keith Thurman can fight. He can fight. I'm just concerned about when he gets punched in the stomach. And the 25-month layoff, the 4 fights in 7 years, it'll be 5 by the time he steps into the ring against Tim Tszyu. You know, and that he lost to old man Pacquiao and that jelly belly. He gets punched in that stomach, he has significant problems. He has significant problems when he gets... Let me pull up some Jose Zito Lopez highlights. Had his ponytail just swinging all around. Yeah, the cash out is real. The cash out is real. He had that man fighting for his life in there. Here it is right here. Let me see if I can find the right clip. I mean, going to life and death with Jose Zito Lopez, that's not a good look. I'm trying to find the clip, my bad. Here it is. Let's go watch this real quick.
Is the champ. The challenger needs to deliver.
Lopez is looking for that one power punch, and you know that sometimes that one power punch isn't there. Thurman is happy because he can throw combinations, and Lopez is there.
I can't play all of that clip because they're gonna copyright me.
The scorecard that close, but Thurman clearly ahead. So is the knockout the only thing?
I'm trying to find a clip of this body shot. And that ponytail was never seen again. And then remember also, Thurman struggled with a 140-pounder that moved up in Mario Barrios. So him moving up to 155, I don't know, man. But, you know, shout out to him. That's some balls on him. That's some balls on him to, you know, go all the way up to fight Tim Tszyu, you know? That is true. When those PBC guys go on layoffs, they all come back and lose, you know? That's not good. They go on layoffs, they come back and they lose. Fucking Gary Russell. I'm just off the top of my head. Gary Russell. Keith Thurman off that layoff. No, actually, Keith Thurman didn't have a layoff for the Pacquiao fight, but Gary Russell, if Keith Thurman loses, he'll add to it. Deontay Wilder, 2 layoffs, 2 back-to-back losses. Well, 2 or 3 losses against Fury. Then he fought Helenius. That barely went around, and then he off a layoff and then lost to Joseph Parker. Jermall Charlo, layoff. Who else? Kwanoski, layoff. Tony Harrison, layoff. Errol Spence, layoff. Gary Russell, layoff. All guys lost after a layoff. We're talking top PBC guys after layoffs. Name some more. It's got to be some more. We got Gary Russell after a layoff loss. Fulton after a layoff loss. We're talking about a year or so. Correct me if I'm wrong. Deontay Wilder after layoff loss. Kwanoski after layoff loss. Charlo after layoff loss. If I was to look at the rankings, I'd be able to do some better. Be able to put together better. I said Mel already. Fucking Abner Maris had a draw, but you know, he's got one eye, so you can't really count that. But yeah, there's a trend. Those guys go on those layoffs, they come back, they don't look good and they lose. By the way, we're going to be on here for another few minutes. I got therapy in the morning. Talk about my problems and shit. Andre, yeah. Andre's layoff wasn't a year, though, was it? Since he signed with PBC, it wasn't a year. I don't believe it was. We're talking about guys who had a year at least. Caleb Player had a year off, lost. There you go. Tim has been active and been looking sharp. I want to see Beterbiev Bivol. I think it's going to happen. I have never been a fan of Bivol's promoter, Yvonne Michel. I've never been a fan of him. At one point in time, he had Adonis Stevenson, Bivol. No, she was Adonis Stevenson, Beterbiev, and he had somebody else, and he would not have them fight. He even had them on different promotional companies so they wouldn't fight. Later Alvarez. Like, he was on some bullshit. Like, he stunted. Beterbiev tried to get away from him at one point in time, if I can remember correctly. Colbert. I never liked Chris Colbert. He's one of those fighters, and I've seen him do it in multiple fights, where his corners will be giving him directions, and then he's like, I know. You know that saying, the saying goes, you can't tell a smart person nothing? He one of them people. I know, relax, calm down. It's like, no, you don't know. You're getting fucked up out there. You clearly don't know. You don't know. That's why you fucked up sleep right there on the fucking ropes. You know, so a fighter like him, he had it coming. He had it coming. Like a talk too much, know it all. He had it coming. It was cooking for a long time. Al Heyman's best fighters go on the bench because they're guaranteed a lot of money that he can't produce for them or he has to put them on pay-per-view. And there wasn't enough dates because remember, PBC, he signed up all those fighters with the intention of taking over boxing. Remember, at one point in time, he had Showtime, ESPN, ABC, that never aired the fight, CBS, NBC, Spike TV, Bounce TV, all at the same time. And then he went all the way down to last year only having Showtime. So a lot of the guys that he was promising all this big money to, he didn't have the resources to give him that money. Which is why a lot of guys ended up on the bench. Or they had to be on pay-per-view or take pay cuts. Will we see Tank versus the Monster? Nope. They're too far apart. I can't see Inoue going all the way up to 135. I'm not saying it's unlikely, but I don't see it. And Tank is barely at 135. You know, he's hanging on there. You know, he's doing a lot better, but he's like barely a 135-pound fighter. But I'm not seeing Tank's a natural 140-pound fighter either. I got Isaac Cruz over Rolly. Rolly can fight though. Rolly may be on some. He can fight though. Like when he puts his mind to it. Not saying he could beat everybody or win, but he's not some incompetent fighter, like people try to say that he is. Remember, he was laying some leather on Tank Davis, even though he was huge in there. He was laying some leather on him. Canelo versus David. I would pick David over Canelo. Dude is just too big, too strong, and he is, in my opinion, David Benavidez is a cruiserweight that boils down to 168. Like, I hate to call him a weight bully, but that's kind of what I see. You know, but he makes the weight, you know, but that's kind of what I see. I was like, yo, dude is, you know, he can easily fight at 175 in cruiserweight and still be effective. And Canelo, in my opinion, Canelo is, he's barely 168 pounder. And Canelo already learned his lesson at 175. He shouldn't be there. But 168, I think that's the pushing the limit for Canelo. Like, I think he should be at 160, but 168 is where he's at, you know? Is where he's at. I have doubts that David Benavidez fight's going to ever happen with Canelo. Canelo will retire before he fights David Benavidez. And I'm not saying he won't, but I think that Canelo probably got 3 more fights left in him. It'll probably be Jermall, Charlo, Crawford, and maybe Spence somewhere in there. Might be, I don't know. I just don't see David Benavidez. I just don't see David Benavidez. Or David Morrell. I don't see those. But I think he's got 3 fights left in his career, and I think he's done. You know, I see him fucking around and fight Tim Tszyu, have Tim Tszyu move with the 168 before he fucking fights David Benavidez. Because, you know, every now and then, Canelo likes to throw a wild card fight in there like he did with Khan. And Khan, Bivol, and who was the other surprise fight people never thought was going to happen? It was Khan, Bivol, and Jermall Charlo. Those 3 fights just popped out of nowhere. No one ever thought those fights was going to happen. So every now and then, Canelo will pull out one of those fights where it's like, oh, shit, you're fighting. Wow, okay. Even the Lara fight. Nobody never thought that fight was going to happen. So you can give Canelo that. Every now and then, he will pull out a fight that you didn't even see coming out of nowhere. The Bivol fight was talked about, but we didn't know it was going to happen. The Khan fight just came out of nowhere, you know. The Charlo fight clearly came out of nowhere. And the Lara fight, we didn't think he was actually going to sign the contract because Richard Schaefer didn't want him to have it. Oscar De La Hoya was in rehab at the time and was mad that Richard Schaefer had Canelo take the fight because he would have told Canelo not to take it. No, the Golovkin fight, we knew that had to happen. That was coming out of, because it was always talked. I'm talking about fights that came out of nowhere that we didn't think was going to happen. That was like, oh shit, what? Where'd that come from? Now, Roller's a huge 135-pounder. Then again, is this fight taking... I'm guessing this fight is taking place at 135. Yeah, it's for the belt. I wonder if Rolly can still make the weight comfortably. I gave the fight to Canelo. I had Canelo beating Lara. Because Lara, all he kept doing, like, I'm not seeing jabs or not scoring punches. If I remember correct, Canelo only landed like 9 jabs. But majority of Lara's fights was jabs. But they were more like keep-away jabs. Like, Lara was fighting somewhat in survival mode on the back foot to where Canelo was the effective aggressor. Even though the punch stats weren't like overwhelming for Canelo, I just think that Canelo did just enough to win. You know, Lara just didn't have enough punch variety, jab, jab, left hand, jab, left hand. You know, he just didn't vary up his punches. And it was that uppercut, I believe it was in round 9, that really got him. The whole fight changed then. I have a strong doubt we'll see Tank versus Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is very heavily aligned with Jay Prince. And Jay Prince and Al Heyman, you know, they just don't really do business like that. Especially if you know, like, the Floyd Mayweather situation. You know, and Jay Prince is heavily aligned and close friends with Bob Arum in Top Rank. So I'm not saying it won't happen. I just don't see it. However, I do feel that Tank Davis needs to grab his careers by the balls. And if the Saudis offer him that career-changing money, he needs to take it because the Saudis want to give him money. But, you know, Al Heyman, he's shown that he will nix something for his big-name guys. Like, he will not let them go anywhere. And Wilder, he had to go because he couldn't pay Wilder anymore. Yeah, I don't see that fight happening. Like, Jay Prince, like, his fighters just don't like, you don't work with PBC. And Shakur is not leaving Jay Prince. He's not leaving. he will go to the zone, but I don't think he will. I think he's going to stay with Top Rank. I think he's going to be a free agent, and, you know, he wants to get more money, but I don't never see him leaving Top Rank. Devin Stevenson is possible, but where's the money at? You know, Shakur Stevenson did a lot of damage to himself with that last fight. Like, a lot of damage to himself with that last fight. Like, he pissed a lot of people off. You know, so he's got to come out, whatever his next fight is. Like, if it's not a big fight like a Devin Haney, he's got to come out and put somebody's boot, like a boot in somebody's ass. No, I don't know what's going on with Chavez Jr. I hope he's all right, though, man. He's been going through something for years now. For years now. You know, so, yeah, don't joke around about no shit like that. It's fucked up. You know, especially when you come from such, like, he comes from such a, like, a big name family, and he was a, you know, no matter what you think about Chavez Jr., he was a big name pay-per-view fighter at one point in time. So to see that the drugs got him, and they had him for a long time, I've been hearing for years, like over a decade now, that he party. So that shit catch up with you after a while. We don't know what's going on with Boots Ennis, but, you know, he's going through one of them situations where, like, nobody wants to fight him. High risk, low reward. So until he's in a situation where fighters have to fight him, ain't nobody going to be calling to fight Boots Ennis. You know, Keith Thurman was having that same issue when he was trying to get big fights. Remember, guys like Robert Guerrero, Paulie Malignaggi wouldn't fight him? It's funny how that works. You know, so Boots Ennis is that guy. Now, I don't consider him to be a boogeyman. I mean, he kind of is. But, you know, he's just not there yet. He's on his way to 154. He wants to capture a belt. And I think he wants to be a full official champion first. And defend his title. Because right now, I mean, let's face it, it was pretty much an email. You know? 145. What are you doing, man? That's a UFC weight. Boxing is 147. But with that being said, man, let me get up out of here. It's been 2 hours. I'm TstreeT Controversy with FV360. I will be seeing you guys this weekend. Pumping out some content tomorrow, but I gotta get to bed. Got some things to do in the morning. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.